we started off with this list of names of musicians who are saying, look, I stand for freedom of choice. This crazy political stance that these musicians made, saying, I will stand up for your right to choose what's best for you.
Welcome to the very first installment of Live Free. For this inaugural episode, I am honored to be joined by a very special guest. While the world was gripped by the madness of lockdowns and tyrannical government overreach, one musician had the bravery to say enough is enough. Australian musician Ben Mitchell created a movement called Free the Nation Music. Musicians that stand for freedom and oppose all forms of segregation and discrimination, including medical discrimination. An organization that has grown to include hundreds of freedom-minded artists from all around the world, including Right Said Fred, 5 Times August, John Ferris of INXS, Jimmy Levy, and I'm proud to say, my own band, Faithless Town. In addition to being the founder of Free the Nation, he is an accomplished songwriter whose music blends the heartfelt simplicity and the storytelling of country and blues with the authenticity and romance of the classic 70s singer-songwriters. Please welcome Ben Mitchell.
Oh, I can hear the crowd screaming. What an introduction. Thanks, Gene. That's beautiful. Thank you, mate.
Absolutely, brother. It's so nice to finally connect with you face to face. I know we've interacted a lot over the past few years on social media, but it's great to finally talk with you.
Yeah, we sure have. And it's a great feeling when you do meet up with the people that your kin, as we say, your freedom kin that we have found, we've been fortunate enough to find on, the other side of the planet or whatever you call it. And so, yeah, it's really good when we get to meet up like this and have a face-to-face in real time, hey?
I have to say, man, and thank you for starting Free the Nation, because it not only did it connect us, but it has connected me to so many like-minded artists across the country and the world, really. Like I did a collaboration with Winsome Kind, and I found them through Free the Nation. So Scott and Leora from that band, they're from Canada. Ty Del Rose, who's the drummer for Smile Empty Soul, who I know you've collaborated with.
Yep,
I've got to meet him in person. He's got me in to one of the Smile Empty Soul shows recently. So just thank you so much for creating this awesome organization of freedom, liberty-minded musicians.
Yeah, well, it's my pleasure and my honor and my gift. And it came out of feelings of despair, which started pretty early on when I was still living in Melbourne. And Melbourne had a thriving music scene and was probably considered the cultural capital of Australia pre-pan-scandemic. And I was just distraught at the thought that all my ex-musician friends were not in any way embracing the concepts I thought that were at the center of our art, which is freedom of expression, freedom to choose, freedom to be who you are, freedom to live courageously despite others choosing fear. All this seemed to go out the window with some well-placed television campaigns. And I was really thinking, I'm never going to play with like-minded musicians again. I'm not going, and I was getting criticized on the social media, and I was saying, well, if they bring in discrimination based on vaccination, I'll never go to a bar again. And, people commenting, well, we won't miss you, Ben. Good on you. These are from musicians, who are supposed to be champions, in my estimation and my thinking, supposed to be champions of freedom and love, acceptance, compassion, all these things that I felt and feel are at the center of what music is. So when they brought in the vaccination campaign, which was something that happened here in Australia, I was just like, that was the straw that broke this camel's back. And I said in a post on my website, just said, look, we're not vaccinating the nation, we've got to free the nation. And that's how it came. And I put my name on this list that I started, and a new friend that I'd met when I moved here to the Northern Rivers, the Byron Bay region in New South Wales, Lucius from a great Australian band called Cog, he said, "You know where I stand, Ben. Put my name on that list." And then it just grew, and it grew internationally, and we found each other, Gene, and we found Winsome Kind, and Five Times August, and so many more people.
Yeah, it was an amazing thing. It was really inspiring. I was thinking to myself the same thing. Where are the musicians? Where are the artists just that are going to speak out against this? I mean, where's Rage Against the Machine? What this is the time to rage, right? This was their whole career was building up to this moment, and it comes and crickets, they're MIA, they can't be found anywhere, or they're actually even, doing press like Tom Morello in support of the nonsense. So it was just truly inspiring that you launched the organization and the sentiment behind it. For me, it was, there's been these moments of like hope where you like these little embers, these sparks of humanity over the past few years that keep your faith in humanity alive, and or maybe kind of rekindle the embers of that fire of hope. And Free the Nation has been one of those things. I'd say the Freedom Convoy in Canada was another one, right? When history looks back on this period, as dark as it's been, I think you'll be one of the hopeful moments of resistance, the fugitive moments, one of the fugitive moments of resistance.
Well, I think about it. Sometimes I think I got to have my John Lennon moment. Whatever I created John Lennon to mean in my mind as a young songwriter, and it was some sort of freedom rebel, freedom of expression. And you mentioned history. Well, I know that a lot of my ideas have been shaped by a spurious history, a history that maybe I'm learning wasn't as accurate as I thought. And that includes the propaganda that I have been subjected to and believed as truth.
If you would like to watch the rest of this episode, then head over to Rumble, where we can speak freely without being under the watchful eye of the YouTube censors. Live free.